Hello and welcome to the Legacy series, where we delve into the real world and fictional history of Star Trek's starships, their names and the vessels that bore them. This time we're looking into the history of the Uss Exeter. You know how this goes by now, so let's just jump in. The Hms Exeter of 1680 was a Royal Navy ship that took part in the Battle of Beachy Head in 1690 and was damaged and hulked, or no longer seaworthy, in 1961. It was scrapped in 1717. During this interim, its replacement, the Hms Exeter of 1697, was launched and fought in the Battle of Quiberon Bay. She was refit and relaunched in 1744. Interesting note, Samuel Hood of HMS Hood fame, on which I've also done a video, served on board this vessel. The Exeter managed to serve until 1763, a staggering 66 years later. That year another Exeter set sail and fought in several battles. I'm going to butcher these names. Sadras, Providian, Negapatem, Cuddalore, Trincomalee. She was retired and burned in 1784. The Royal Navy seems to have had a bit of a break from the name until 1928, when a new HMS Exeter, number 68, was ordered and launched in 1929. She was one of only two York-class heavy cruisers, her sister being the HMS York. In the lead-up to World War II, she was primarily deployed in the Atlantic. During the war, she patrolled South American trade routes and took part in the Battle of the River Plate. She went in for repairs for a year and re-emerged in 1941 to fight in the Pacific under convoy duty. She also fought in the Battle of the Java Sea in 1942. She was sunk by Japanese forces later that year. Her wreck was found in 2007 but destroyed by illegal salvaging. This is only a fraction of the vessel's actions, and it had a very eventful life. There was to be a Type 61 frigate called the Exeter in 1956, but that never came to pass. Instead, in 1979, the HMS Exeter D-89 was a Type 42 destroyer. It took part in both the Falklands War and the First Gulf War. Her primary role on both these encounters seems to be air defence, targeting enemy craft, and protecting Allied vessels. By 2007, it was the last Royal Navy ship in commission to have passed through the Falklands War and served in several ceremonial positions. In 2009, the vessel was decommissioned, having passed through several theatres of war and 7 captains. She was scrapped in 2009. There can be no doubts, the Exeter has seen its name applied to warships that have served as defenders for all its iterations, and each has seen much combat. Turning to Star Trek now, and in 2245, the famous line of Constitution-class starships was designed and launched. The USS Exeter NCC 1706 was one of the first handful of these vessels, which, as I do this series, there seems to be an increasing amount of. However, she was launched under the registry NCC 1672. In 2250 it underwent an overhaul, as many of the Constitution class of this time did, and this vessel made contact with several species and defended Federation trade against the Klingons in 2260. It passes through several captains in its lifetime, from Captain Brittany Mendez to Captain Ronald Tracy in 2365, Douglas Newman in 2268, and Captain Ederoni in 2370. The vessel was abandoned in 2268 but recovered by the USS Enterprise NCC 1701, restaffed and sent back out until 2274. There is also mention of a J-class USS Exeter NCC 1788, which was used as a training vessel in the mid-2260s and no longer saw action beyond cadet cruises. In 2274, a new Constitution class, built to the refit frame, was commissioned and named the USS Exeter II NCC 1712. This vessel continued to serve the Federation until 2288, under the command of Captain Lawrence Stiles, reassigned from the USS Excelsior after the Transwarp project's discontinuement. The vessel was overhauled several times to adapt its systems to lasting into the early 2300s, not as unfeasible as it sounds, considering the vessel had only been operating for 26 years. It was decommissioned soon thereafter. In the early 2300s, an Excelsior-class vessel, the USS Exeter NCC 2016, was built and launched. This robust class of starship is one of the Federation's longest serving classes, and the Exeter was no exception, lasting until around the mid-24th century. By 2364, there was an Ambassador class USS Exeter, NCC 26531. This vessel was actually Lieutenant Junior grade Tom Paris's first posting as a helmsman, and in 2371 was assigned to nearby the Bajor sector. At the outbreak of the Dominion War, the USS Exeter was part of the famous 9th Fleet, which fought many battles but was unable to take part in the Operation Return under the command of Captain Hodgkiss. Following the mission's success, it was stationed at Deep Space Nine until 2376, when Captain Elizabeth Shelby took command. So Shelby made captain before Riker. I am not surprised. It also took part in battles against the Borg in 2381. Star Trek Online has an Exeter-class vessel, a ship whose design somewhat resembles the Constitution class, and it was in operation around 2409. Another ship of this class includes the USS Kirk, NCC 91277. Dunno what that's named in honour of. The Exeter Legacy is one of war, and many of its duties consisted of patrolling against raiders and protection acts in both history and Star Trek. We see that its tradition of being in the thick of it is continued with Star Trek's depiction of vessels of the name, and unlike some other ships that are built for combat but never see it, the Exeter is extensively utilised in military campaigns. One interesting thing that I noticed is that with the USS Exeter, we saw 2 Constitution-class vessels, one original, one refit, followed by an Excelsior class, and then an Ambassador class. Although the registry was not passed on, I can only think of one name that transcends eras across the same models of starship. Who knows? Maybe the next Exeter will be a Galaxy class. Thanks for watching this video on the lineage of the starship Exeter. I've seen a couple of names crop up in the comments that I'm adding to the list, but I just had to get this one out there. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, goodbye.